One of the loneliest places to walk would be in the opposite direction of the bandwagon. However, history has proven that it can be one of the most fruitful lanes to take when you want to achieve something. Now, the bandwagon and everybody on it has searched for what they call the accepted formula for success, and they would kill themselves, climb over themselves, just to head there in one bandwagon. In the entertainment industry, amazing creativity, however, has been found by those who have gone the opposite direction. Those with the heart to do what exactly they know how to do, they believe in doing, and sometimes those who are just creative enough to search for new paths. Now, that's not the story in Nigeria right now. The entertainment industry in Nigeria is filled with everyone headed in the same direction. Once the formula is slightly tested to be successful, everyone is in that one way. Now, the big question is, for those who have the heart to make music differently, to make movies differently, to be a stand-up comedian with a difference, how do they survive in a world where everybody, including the fans and the corporate sponsor, would rather be with the man on the bandwagon? Now, that's what we look at today. How is it indeed possible that creativity can get better chances of expression when the bandwagon is placed where it should be? We look at that today because we hope to make a change. And where else would we be interested in making a change? Nowhere else but this place right here. Brought to you by me, myself, my humble self. My name, Emma Ugolee. And yes, of course, this is The Gist. First will be this man that they call Ebuka Obi Uchenndu. Ebuka Obi Uchenndu is a TV presenter. He's also a writer, an entertainment lawyer, and has had 10 full years of relevance in the entertainment industry. Next to Ebuka, we have
Ruby Gyang. Ruby Gyang is a singer, songwriter, and a performer. She had a big break in 2014 with the hit single Good Man. She's also very popular for the single Shakara featuring Ajay Potter, which was released in 2016. 2016 also saw the release of the only album to her credit, simply called This Is Love. It's been 4 years of relevance for Ruby Gyang in the industry of entertainment in Nigeria.
And finally, we have the man they call Justice Atigogo. He is a social commentator, broadcaster, and an actor. He spent over 18 years in the entertainment business in Nigeria, and he too has his very strong opinion.
All right, guys, it's a pleasure to have you on the show again. Justice, Ebuka, Ruby. It was 1957, and the guy's name was Henry Fonda. And he released a movie in Hollywood, and the whole place went bonkers. Now, it went bonkers not because a movie had been released, but because of the kind of movie that was released, the plot of the movie. The movie was called 12 Angry Men, and it was a movie about a jury that was sitting down in the court and trying to decide on whether or not somebody was to live or die. The entire movie, start to finish, no flashbacks, nothing, was shot in one room. And so for 2 hours plus, you were just interested in following the story and going through the minds of the deliberating juries on what was going to happen to them. Now, that was different. It was totally out of something Hollywood had seen. It made the news across the world because somebody thought differently. But then, the environment allowed him to express what he thought. And I think about this Henry Fonda situation, and I reflect on Nigeria today. And unfortunately, what I see is the big question is, where is the success formula? Where's the bandwagon? Then you have everybody trying to jump into the bandwagon and move. because they say the destination of that bandwagon is more money, sometimes more acceptance. Creative expression is suffering. It doesn't matter whether it's comedy, music, making movies, television production, journalism. Nobody is doing what he really wishes he could do right or well or professionally so. The average person just wants to get by, be popular, be richer, doing what everybody has confirmed is what the masses want. So I'm asking myself, have we gotten to that point in this country where creative expression should be put on the shelf and nobody should be allowed to do what he thinks is hard? Because many times you meet those who are doing these things that are seen, that are tagged watery, and in private conversation you find out that if they had their way, they would do things a certain different way. Now, what is stopping you from having your way is the essence of this conversation today. What does it take for one? Or what are we suffering for people not having the heart to do what they want to do or what's right, or creatively express themselves the way they think they should? So I'll start with you, who does music. Now you do music and you're here because you have just insisted on doing yourself with music. I haven't seen you try to be like anybody else since you started. Now, is this a challenge for you?
Well, yes, in that the acceptability, the opportunities you get, you know, that. But I would say no, because I'm doing what I want to do.
Okay. How easy is it to do what you want to do?
It's pretty easy because it's what I want to do. I'm going to give my all.
Okay.
I'm going to go hard in it. I think also it also is a situation whereby when you're being your real self, when you're being your true self, then the ability to create is constant. There's no sense of looking to someone to give you the roadmap. There's none of that. It's just you going and going and going. So for me, that's really what it is.
So you don't care about a template tagged, accepted out there for you all doing music?
I think for me, I set
Do
my
you care about the template that they say is successful already out there?
I used to, but not anymore. I realized that when it becomes a problem for you as an individual is when you allow somebody else to set your goals for you. You allow someone else to determine your destination. But when you come in here, you have a clear goal and a clear plan to attain that goal. When you arrive at it, to you is success. You know, so coming to that point, I entered with that mindset. I definitely got shook, you know, when I was here and seeing all that was going on, and people in your ear telling you do this like this and you will blow, or the reason why you're not this popular is because you have not done this. But then I said, you know what, when I came here there was a plan. Do you understand? There was
come on, be Ruby.
Yes, there was where I wanted to go, and it was not just Lagos, it was beyond, it was the world. And if I stick to that, my plan, I will get there. It might take a while, but so that's kind of where I'm at now.
Isn't that the golden thinking?
When you started talking, you know exactly, because you had really broken everything down. But the part why I drank was because you were talking about an industry. Man, we don't have an industry. Let somebody deceive anybody. What we have is commerce. Until we have an industry, the real entertainment industry. First, most people forget that being creative is actually elitist. It is God that created. It's not bush people that created. So if God gives you a bit of it to create, there are over 7 billion people in this world.
So the guy who
less than 100 million people worldwide are very creative.
Justice, the guy who started at the home video craze, Kenneth.
Yeah.
What's his last name again?
Yeah.
Did he need an industry to be that creative?
He did not even know what was going to get anywhere.
So why do we need an industry?
No,
to be
you
creative?
do. Because even at that time, let me tell you the truth, there was an industry.
Now, was he thinking outside the box of his industry to be giving birth to Nollywood?
The reason he didn't know was giving birth to anything. The only reason he did that was because dollars at that point in time, in the early 80s, was out of his reach. Prior to that time, everybody was shooting on celluloid.
He had the heart to start something.
It wasn't about heart. It was challenging. He could not reach the dollar. That's all. If not, people like Edugoma or Ogun, they were shooting on celluloid. There was a cellular film industry.
Did he think differently, Justice?
Oh, of course he did.
Was it not risky to think differently?
It's always risky. Always risky.
So he had the heart to do something
But even
different.
crossing the road is risky too. If you cross the road without looking, it's risky. You don't know.
Okay.
You get knocked down by a car. What I believe is that there's no in what we have is commerce, buying and selling, money here,
So,
money there.
Ebuka,
money
Justice practically throws away the individual's impute away from
Yeah,
it.
No,
I haven't
done
done
that.
I did try
Well,
to ask,
let's-
'cause
let's-
I was a little lost
Yeah.
as to what his point was getting
because
to.
it's commerce. What we have now is commerce, money making. Building an industry is not just about money making.